Hey y'all, Josh Birch here, and today we're going to talk about magic tricks that you can do that kids will love. So, what kind of magic is good for kids? That's a question that I get all the time. You might be surprised to find out that I actually don't think the kids are the ideal audience for most magic. Oftentimes kids don't really have a grasp of what is possible and impossible, so performing something that's funny, entertaining, or surprising is always a good route to go. If you can figure out what works for kids, you are well on your way to becoming the world's greatest cousin, uncle, aunt, grandpa, grandma, teacher, scoutmaster, whatever. Kids just think that magic is really cool. If you already know a little bit about magic, then there are certain types of magic that you'll need to avoid when it comes to kids. It's generally a good idea to go light on the mind reading and the card heavy material. Some kids just aren't familiar with the different symbols and values in a deck of cards. If you want to ignore what I just said right there and actually perform magic with cards, then it might be helpful to have the kids draw a picture or write their name on whatever playing card they choose. This way, of course, they don't have to remember the card that they chose, they just have to remember their name or what they wrote on the picture. Fair warning with that, as long as it takes an adult to write their name, it's going to take a child 3 or 4 times as long. And if they're drawing a picture, they might be a little perfectionist, so that might take extra time as well. That's why I say to limit card magic with kids. Also, mentalism tends to be a little dry. I think most kids just want to be entertained, they want to laugh, they want to be surprised, and it's difficult to do some of those things with lots of the material available in the world of mentalism. So, here are 7 amazing magic tricks that are sure to entertain children. Number 1 is the hot rod. The hot rod was one of my first experiences that I ever remember having with magic. And no, I'm not talking about the car, I'm talking about a little stick with a whole bunch of different colors on both sides. The spectator chooses one of the colors and the magician changes all of the colors to the thought of the selected color. This works great for kids because it's quick, it's visual, it involves them, and it uses a piece of information that isn't abstract. The color is something that most kids understand. Even down to preschool age, kids understand their colors to some extent. There are a whole bunch of different hot rods available. My favorite is the Search Engine Pen by Jeff Price. Jeff has taken what is kind of an abstract, magic-y looking stick and has turned it into a normal, everyday pen that can still perform the magic just as the original hot rod did. Number 2 is Out of This World. And I know I said that you should probably go light on pick-a-card tricks. Well, this isn't a pick-a-card trick. This focuses on the 2 colors in a deck, red and black. The deck is shuffled and you give it to a spectator. They then are able to intuit the different colors of the cards, whether they're red or black, without ever looking at the faces. I love to perform this for kids because I get a whole bunch of people involved. If I'm performing for little kids, then I'll keep the cards in my hand and just have them point to which piles they go to. If I'm performing for kids that can handle a deck of cards, then I'll hand the deck to them. And if I'm performing for 5 people, every single one of those people will have a chance to handle the cards and deal them into the 2 piles. Out of This World is great, but a nice variation is Galaxian by Stephen Tucker. In this version of the effect, there's a little surprise at the end, and it's much clearer for your younger viewers that they have separated red cards from black cards. Number 3 is Touch by Hansen Chen. I always keep rubber bands with me when I'm performing professionally, but I rarely perform rubber band magic for adults. I save that for the kids. One of the most interactive, innovative, and visual pieces of rubber band magic out there is Touch by Hansen Chen. The magician wraps a rubber band around his hand. He then just touches the spectator's hand and the band jumps from his fingers up to their fingers, penetrating flesh and blood of the magician and the spectator. I love performing this for kids because I can do it over and over, and every time that I do, it leaves the spectator with a souvenir. My favorite version of Touch is called Touched Up. It's by Joe Rindfleisch and it's available on his download, Rubber Deception. Number 4 is Cards from Mouth. The 2 guys that do this best is Bill Malone and Jeff McBride. If I'm performing for a group of kids and I've run out of material, then this is one of my go-tos. As soon as I produce Cards from my mouth, pandemonium erupts. It's very hard to follow. Number 5 is Abby McBride's bubble routine, and you can learn it in the same place that you can learn Jeff McBride's cards from mouth. This is gift magic at its finest. You blow a few bubbles, you catch one and freeze it, you can then give it away as a souvenir. This is super practical. I was at a corporate function performing with another magician. He just chose a location to stand where he blew bubbles. The kids came to him and he just started to freeze them, handing them out. He must have stood there for 20 minutes just handing out frozen bubbles. It was super magical and all of the kids got a souvenir. Number 6 is the rising card, and for my style of magic, I like Don Allen's version of the effect. There are no threads to worry about, no electronics, nothing like that. Everything is contained within the specially made deck of cards. If you are going to perform a pick a card trick for a group of children, this is a good choice because even if they don't remember the card that they chose, there's still a very magical moment when that card rises out of the deck. Of course, it's still a good idea to get them to draw a picture or to write their names on the front of the cards so that everybody knows that that's their card without a doubt. And number 7 is, of course, the Sponge Bunnies. Published in 1945 as Peter Rabbit Goes to Town, this is one of the most interactive and amazing pieces of magic ever created. 2 little toy bunnies are introduced. One bunny goes in the magician's hand, one bunny goes in the spectator's hand. The magician's vanishes and it appears in the spectator's hand. The spectator then takes those 2 bunnies, they give them a squeeze, and the bunnies multiply. They reproduce inside the spectator's hand. You'll have a really hard time getting a better reaction from any other piece of magic. The Sponge Bunnies aren't just for kids. You can perform this for anybody and get an extremely strong reaction. In fact, all of the magic on this list could work for adults as well as kids. So that's not just a list of 7 tricks that kids will like, it's a list of 7 tricks that everyone will like. Find it all on Penguin and then get out there and make some magic.
I wonder if Pearl and Teddy would join us.
It's amazing, this is.
Oh, good
The
evening.
producer wouldn't let us see this.
May I ask, do you play cards?
Oh, yes, yes.
A little?
Yes.
What kind of a game is that? I never played that. This matches my eyes. Isn't that lovely? I think it's rather nice. I have a little pack of cards. Do you play cards?
No.
Not at all?
No.
You're the one I want.
Yeah.
Worked out. First of all, we'll give the cards a little cut. And would you take one card out, but don't let me see what it is, all right?
All right.
And then you take one, too, all right? And you sort of share it between you.
Yeah.
And I'll take one because they hardly ever give me one. You know how they are. It's, in fact, let's all hold them up so everyone can see the cards, all right? Very good, all right? Sort of burn it in your memory. Now, would you place your card face down right on top? Uh-huh. Yours right on top of this. And then I'll place mine on top of there, which is not much of a trick, but it's sort of cozy that way. It's called semi-togetherness.
Yeah. I've heard about
Now,
it.
we'll put them together, turn them face up, and of course I remember my card, you see.
Uh-huh.
So we'll place all the cards under the handkerchief, put the whole pack into the little glass. Now watch the handkerchief, all right? That exciting?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Now we watch this for about 9 inches, you see, and then the whole thing. See? Now just sort of watch it here. As we slowly take this away, you see.
Oh.
Well, don't scare it, you know. It's
It's the gremlin.
and that's the idea, you see, I get my card this way, the 4 cards, you see. Now, of
Oh,
course,
that's Mom.
now, you had a card, didn't you?
Yeah.
Now, what was the name of your card?
You want me to tell it?
Yes.
Ace of Hearts.
We won't cover it this time. We'll place them in the glass. Ace of Hearts, all right? Isn't that miserable? It's a... Now, the nice part is you may take out as many cards as you like. You put them in the glass and they just pop right out. It's called do-it-yourself. A trend, you know. Now, we had 4 of hearts, Ace of Hearts, and Alma, your card, the Queen of Spades, right?
No.
I hit a smart aleck.
It wasn't.
It
That was-
wasn't?
No, afraid not.
What was your card?
6 of clubs. Nearly
Oh,
forgot.
I'm sorry. That's the only card that doesn't come out of the glass.
Oh, I very
Well, no,
strange.
you see, what we do for the 6 of clubs is we open the flap and we rock the boat. Only way I can get the 6 of clubs.